welcome to another episode of Xbox Infinite. It's been a huge week, actually. There's been a lot going on. Even some stuff that I haven't thrown in topics. So I've got some curveballs for the panel and for our wonderful guest, Jen, who is Portal Mistress today. Welcome to the show. You're from Windows Central. Wrote an awesome article on Diablo 4. I really enjoyed the article because I'm not really big on the lore, so it was pretty helpful for me. But how you doing? What have you been up to? Welcome to the show. What are you playing? Oh, I know what you're playing, but tell us what else you would be playing.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, Jen. I'm talking to you.
Sorry. I was just saying, I've had a power nap for this show. Clearly, I am still half asleep. So yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, quite clear what I am playing, considering what I'm going on about on social media all the time. But I can't talk too much about that at the moment. What else have I finished this week? I did finish Ravenlock, actually. I don't know if any of you guys have played that. It's a nice little 4-hour adventure, Alice in Wonderland type game. And I also managed to finish Dead Island 2. I had a break from that for a couple of weeks, but decided to go back and get that done. And I was only about 2 quests from the final boss. Really enjoyed that game. That came completely out of left field for me. Not my type of thing normally, zombie games, but yeah, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I didn't like the first one, so I've been going around trying to push the narrative that it's a trash game. So as much as I can.
Okay, good start for me.
But yeah, I have played a little bit of Ravenlock. I brought it up on the screen. Like, it is fun. It's nice looking game. It's pretty easy though. I sort of found it. Yeah, just easy from what I've played, but that's kind of cool because it's nice to go in from, say if you're playing Jedi and then you jump into that, it's just pretty chill, laid back, and chilled out. Doom Cutie, another fantastic week. What have you been up to? Well, we know what you've been playing as well, but what else have you been playing?
Good morning. Oh, sorry.
What? Hello, Cutie.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there.
Did we lose her?
I think we've...
she'll be back.
on mute.
I will
Pete!
go, bro.
Pete's immediately in there. I love it. Go.
Wait
a minute. How does he skip ahead of me? I'm right after her. Hold on now. You see this right here? You try to jump in again, Risky. You see this?
Well, we'll get the important people out of the way first, bro.
Apologies. I'm sorry. I'm back.
How you doing? What have you been playing? What have you been up to, Cutie?
Yeah, no, I've been good. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of a very, very hellish type game. But outside of that, I've been playing the new 2K Lego Drive game. It's a lot of fun. Have any of you guys jumped into it?
Nah. I heard it was...
No?
I haven't.
I heard it was okay, was the word on the street.
Well, yeah, it is a Lego game. I mean, I can't imagine imagining storytelling prowess.
No, but I love kart races, but I heard it was like sort of not quite. It was like, tell us about it. Is it any good? Like, is it worth it? What do you think?
Look, the only thing I will say is the price is actually quite up there for a game of this. But I think whenever you slap Lego on the title of anything, or anything in general, the price doubles. So, but yeah, this is the first time Lego and 2K have actually done a game together. So, but it's got local couch co-op.
No.
So you can jump in with your kid or best friend, wife, husband, whatever, man friend, and play. It's really, really fun to play on couch co-op mode. So definitely, if you really do love kart races, if you love they call this a tectonic racer, because when you change terrain, so you might be in a sports car on road, you might be on a 4-wheeler on dirt, and then there's no break between you leaving that terrain and going into the water, and you go straight into a speedboat. And then you can change your loadouts. So, because it's like an open world, and then you go into races. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, I've been spending a lot of time in there helping those minifigs out with their lives. It's been great.
Nice, yeah.
Actually, because my little one is mad for racing games. He likes watching me play Forza, and I cannot.
Oh,
stand the
nice.
games generally, but I will like sit and play them just because they're the only game that he will allow me to play when he's awake. So maybe I can jump on Lego.
Oh, the color, it's a very bright, bright and vibrant environment. That was really hard to say. Geez, wow. I'm on fire this morning. Someone else
You're
go.
on the struggle bus this morning, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Wow.
We'll go to. Oh, this is a tough one because we know they vie for position. I might flip a coin. Just give me 2 seconds. Infinite Umbra, how you doing?
I'll just jump on in there. I was just gonna jump in
They fight
anyway.
every week.
I was just gonna jump in regardless. I'm
It's all
listening
good,
to you.
though.
I'm
They're
like,
leaving the best till last, bro. I get it, man.
yeah, that's what I would tell myself that too if I was last. But no, but it's been a good week, man. Good news, good games coming, and great showcases coming up starting next week. I have been playing. I beat Jedi Survivor, which I'm currently considering game of the year. And right now, I am loving Dead Island 2. Spectacular game. I don't know why the review scores don't match what I'm feeling, but it is what it is. And yeah, happy to have you with us tonight, Jen.
Absolutely. Pete, how's your week? What have you been up to? We've been playing an absolute banger game of the year. No, it's not Zelda.
Amazing, because I finally rolled credits on my equal game of this generation, Jedi Survivor. That game blew me away in every way, shape, and form. I love the combat. I love the story. The passion of Star Wars oozes through this game. Congratulations to Respawn. I hope it doesn't get forgotten about in Game of the Year contention because I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it. And I've been playing a little bit of Fortnite, and I got my Darth Maul skin, so really happy about that. Awesome to have Jen on the show. Been trying to get you for a while, but you are a busy lady. So welcome to the Xbox Infinite family and to the chat. Thank you guys for showing up again.
Yeah, absolutely. Chat, you guys are absolutely awesome coming every week supporting us. Really appreciate it. Definitely, I have turned up Jen's volume, so you guys should be able to hear her. But also, it's like 1 a.m. for you, Jen. Is that right?
Yes, so I might be a little quieter than normal because I'm trying not to wake up the entire house.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
don't make me laugh too much, or I'll get in trouble.
I've got you cranked up to 200%, so there's no one that's not hearing you now, that's for sure. Look, we will jump into it because we don't keep Jen here until 3 a.m. because that would be bad, very, very bad. So we'll jump straight into the topics, and then another topic sort of squeezed in here last night, but the European regulators have approved the ABK deal, and then following that up, China, which I did not think was going to happen, has also approved the ABK deal. And there's been a lot around this. There's a fair bit to talk about. I know we've talked about this ad nauseum, but I love me some good ABK talk. Fuck you. 1 a.m., 1:20 a.m., you must be in the UK. Oh, wow. I thought you were an Aussie. You learn something new every day. Sorry, fuck you in the chat said it was 1:20 a.m. That's his name. I wasn't swearing at
Fark me. No, fark you.
Solidarity is here to keep me company through the dead of night.
Look, there's been a fair bit sort of happening around this approval as well, which I'll do a quick run through of. That's the CMA came out and responded to the EU approving the deal, and their response was, and I'll try to summarize this because it was too long, basically to go through their entire thread. The CMA also concluded that cloud gaming needs to continue as a free competitive market to drive innovation and choice, and this is a rapidly evolving sector. Microsoft's proposals that were accepted by the European Commission today would allow Microsoft to set the terms and conditions for this market for the next 10 years. Their focus on the market is still, and this is a finished quote, their focus on the market is still a little bit perplexing, I think, to anyone that has any knowledge about the industry, being that cloud is 1% of the market. Take-Two boss Strauss-Nelge, he came out in support of the Activision deal as well. And he was basically saying that anything that's sort of good for this merger is going to end up being good for the industry. Basically, what he said was what's good for them is also good for the industry. So there's support coming from there as well. And Satya Nadella, and this is something I want to definitely talk about, Satya Nadella, because there's been some talk through the community, and I think Hargeet was one of the main proponents of this, and I did not quite agree with his take initially. But after doing some research, I really do. Satya Nadella was very cagey when asked whether he would consider pulling Microsoft out of the UK, and he said, "Let's wait and see how it plays out." I initially did not think that they would do that, being that they are the second biggest market. And Jen, I'm really sorry to say, but I really do think that it's a distinct possibility that they will now pull out of the UK if this deal does not go through. Just when you look at the market, I think it works out. So I worked it out to be roughly around. I didn't write any of this down, and I should have, but I didn't. The market works out to be, I think it was about 2.9 billion. They're pulling in a year. They're 30 Xbox with ABK. You could probably bump that up a couple of percent, but right now it's 33% of the market. And then if you look at cloud in that as well, yeah, there's no reason for them to stay within the UK. They've got, as I think Florence Mueller put it, something ridiculous like 3 times or 4 times the amount from all the other approved markets. So it is something that could definitely happen. Jen, I don't know if you've been following ABK closely, but do you think that they're going to pull out of the UK? Do you think it's a possibility?
I've gone back and forth on this all week with how I feel about it, and it is because, yeah, I'm in the UK, and it's gonna affect us more than any of you guys, really. I don't think that Microsoft as a whole will pull out of the UK. I don't think they could. I mean, up until a few years ago, I think our cash machines were running on Windows XP, something ridiculous. I think his comments were more in line with Xbox themselves maybe pulling their cloud services out of the UK, which I do think is a possibility. I think what will happen is, with this deal, we're going to get screwed. If I was looking at this from America or from Australia like you guys, I would see it as a positive with the EU letting the deal go through. Because it looks like that it's going to be pushed through no matter what, but I just cannot see the CMA backing down on this. So I just think we're just going to get a worse deal than anyone else from a consumer standpoint, which is ridiculous because that's what our regulators are supposed to be protecting us from, and they're doing quite the opposite. So yeah, it's
Something
tough.
really
It's tough in
interesting to
here.
me then, Jen. Can that actually be done? So can Activision Blizzard games be sold through Microsoft as physical copies and just the way they usually do it, and then just not have cloud services at all in the UK? Like, can that happen?
No, they can't do
It
that.
might even just be that they won't offer ABK games on the cloud. They won't offer Call of Duty on the cloud. Like everybody else will get it but us. I don't think they'll pull out completely because they do still have a market here for their other games. They're still quite successful without ABK right now. I'm just trying to think of ways that they'll get this deal to go through, and if we have to suffer as consumers, I think they'll do it if it makes financial sense for them.
Well, there's sort of 3
Yeah,
options there that they can do, and they can only do this in a couple of different ways. And I'm not a lawyer, so but this is my understanding. I've been looking at this like a lot, talking to Luke Steele a fair bit actually. And look, there is a couple of ways that they can do this. They could carve out ABK and then place that as a separate entity, which is not quite the same as divesting the business, but similar. They could pull out completely. Now, if they do pull out, they can't. So they can't pull out just cloud, and they can't pull out just ABK. It doesn't work like that. So they would have to pull out completely out of the market, and they, yeah, as Xbox, not as Microsoft. So they would have to pull their line completely out of the market. And that would be very interesting because then they would have to have continuing support, obviously, for the products that they have already sold. One other thing that the CMA can actually do, and I need to look more into that, so don't quote me on that because I'm sort of halfway through researching a lot of this stuff and talking to Luke Steele. But one thing that they can do, and Luke will probably tell you this is not going to happen, but we had a really interesting back and forth. And Luke Steele, I don't know if you guys know him, Luke Steele 101, go and check him out on Twitter and follow him. He is a lawyer. And he does have some really good insights into how this all works. But the CMA can rescind the block. They can do that. That's a 100% a possibility. It's never been done before, ever, not once. But we had a bit of a long discussion, but no deal that I can think of, or that I know about, or that he knows about, has had so much of a political pull, and has and
Yeah,
nothing.
we're in completely new territory with this deal,
Yeah.
I think. It's no good saying it's never been done before. You know, you don't set legal precedents by not doing something different.
Mhm.
And at the moment, I mean, you've seen the tweets from like the Prime Minister even saying that he's going to put pressure on the CMA, which was really interesting for him to actually say something almost negative against one of his own government bodies. So I'm not sure. The CMA also, they come out with that tweet, didn't they, right after the EU deal was announced, and it was very much the scorned ex-boyfriend style tweet of, we stand by our decision because of X, Y, and Z, which I thought was really, really not professional, and it screams an ulterior motive. What that ulterior motive is, I really don't know. But I think there's a lot going on behind closed doors at the moment that we are not aware of and we're not privy to.
Yeah,
Jen, I
absolutely.
think you're so
will be
right.
to see how this plays out.
So absolutely.
Because,
What
like,
do you think, Sue?
For me, like the fact that China was like, yep, immediately, straight away. Did you know that in 2017 they had 9,600 new games approved by the government, and then by 2018 they had 1,980? China actually has reduced the amount of limited the amount of time that people can actually play video games. Did you know that?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. No. So they have actually rolled that back a little bit. Yeah. So they initially they had an age. They sectioned everyone off in ages.
Yeah, exactly.
So children could only play. I believe it was 45 minutes. Don't quote me on this. I believe it was 45 minutes between the hours of this time and this time. And then,
so it was 90 minutes per day on the weekdays, and then 3 hours on the weekend.
Yeah.
And then in 2021, it was 1 hour per day on weekends.
Also, I heard they rolled it back. They haven't rolled it back. They've
No, they haven't. This still exists. So for me, I think China's just like, you know what? Like, we'll have the deal. That's fine. It's okay. We manage how long our people game for. Like they don't really care, because on a government level they can enforce these restrictions and they couldn't care less. So it's actually quite interesting that they've just said yes automatically.
Yeah.
Well,
China
speaking
could
of
benefit financially from this as well. Think of all the cloud devices that they can sell to the West when we can get AB cloud games.
Exactly. But I will say, there was a change in that there was a limit to how much people were, like, companies were building in China, and they actually limited the amount of devices people could build there because they were afraid that people were going to get addicted to games. They compare it to being addicted to opium.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a reach.
It is an excessive reach.
That's a bridge too far, I would have thought. But
yeah, they
I enjoy games, but not that much.
So in 2014, China partially eased the restrictions on video game hardware by allowing game consoles to be manufactured in the Shanghai Free Trade Zone and sold in the rest of China to cultural inspections. And then in July 2015, the ban on video game consoles within the country was completely lifted. They realized how much money it
was
it
in
paid
it. Yeah.
them, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but look, that's and again, I think a lot of people underplay the importance of China. But I don't think that can be overstated. Like, China is a massive market. Even if you think about all the restrictions that they have, there's a lot of people there. So that's a lot of time. That's a lot of engagement.
Billions.
Yeah, exactly that. And look, another thing that sort of came up through the week was the CMA was brought to a committee hearing. I'm not sure what you guys call it over there, Jen. I can't remember the actual name of it. But they
Parliament.
that's pretty hard questions.
A fun fight.
Yeah, that's a pretty hard questions for the CMA. And one of those, and I thought that's a really good sort of take, and there must be something to it if they're asking the question. One of the questions was, and Jen, you sort of mentioned this, there must be an ulterior motive, and I believe the government actually knows what this ulterior motive is. They did ask, that the CMA generally approves or blocks deals based on what they see coming in the future. So they sort of look ahead. And I think every regulatory body does do that, but the CMA more than anyone. Because when they're taken to task in an appeal, they don't have to provide evidence like you would in a court system. When you provide evidence in a court system, it has to be the sort of the here and now or the immediate future where you can prove something or something that you can reference in a precedent. Whereas the FTC does have to do that. And they believe that, well, one of the questions was, are you colluding? Basically, he was very polite in his British way. But are you colluding with the FTC to give them evidence? Basically, because you've blocked it, they can take that to court and say, well, the CMA thinks this as well, so we also think this, and that they could use it as evidence. Umbra, do you think that there's a little bit of collusion going on between the two regulatory bodies? Or Pete?
Umbra?
I think that's exactly what's going on, Risk, to be honest. I think that they...
I muted myself. I'm talking while I'm muted. Oops. I thought I was
We
muted
just thought you were being
before.
really, really polite and letting everybody talk first.
No, I muted myself.
That
thinking I
sounds
was
nothing
already
like
muted.
him.
What? I'm very polite. Don't listen to her. Don't listen to her, Jen. She's a misandrist. So
He has his reasons for thinking that.
Emotional, damn it.
she won't mod me up. Anyway, so it's a general oversight hearing, by the way, Risk. No, I think that the timing of everything is just very odd for her to have, met with Lena Khan the way she did, and then suddenly they block the deal. It just aesthetically, at least, just optic wise, it doesn't look good, right?
She was
and then
very
you have-
evasive on the question as well, wasn't she, bro? When
She was. She
asked
talked around
flat
it.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, he asked yes or no. She started giving a whole spiel after a second. So I was like, okay, no, yes or no. And I know it's not every question can be a straight no or yes. You have to give nuance. I get it. But that brother was on her and he asked her flat out and she was like, well, I mean, such. And all I heard was politician babble.
Typical
That's all I
British
heard.
politician not answering the actual question.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I love
American
how polite-
politicians too. They do the same.
I love
Yeah.
how polite the gentleman was, but he was also, he was breathing down her neck at the
Aggressive.
same
Yeah.
time, really aggressive. I love how he did that.
Yep.
If anyone hasn't
so-
watched it, you guys should definitely give it a watch. It's actually incredibly good TV to watch.
It is. My thinking on it is, and I know it's a reach to reach out there and say that. And I've had Luke Steele on my podcast as well. Great dude. He's a CMA lawyer, so he deals with. He's an M&A lawyer. He's dealt with the CMA. I meant to say. So I know me saying this, he would probably be like, nah. But it seems like collusion to me, and it just a lot of it doesn't make sense. And when I think things don't add up, I start to think you're doing something behind the scenes that's not right. You have the EU that came back and made what I feel is a rightful decision. You have all these other countries that came out and made a rightful decision. You have Brazil who flat out was like, no, And so I think all of this, and I know that was before they focused on cloud, but I feel like for it to be such a, as they keep saying, nascent, to be more or less a non-factor as far as a actual situational business, whatever you want to call it. I think to actually use that and say that it's, it could cause a SLC, I just think it's a reach, and it just doesn't make sense. As they say, the math is not mathing in this situation.
Yeah, to use the cloud even just makes me take them less seriously. I mean, these are the same guys that originally said that cloud gaming would would force people to buy expensive Xbox consoles, not understanding that you can use the cloud on anything. You can play it on a potato.
Right.
And then they come out saying that, Microsoft are going to have a monopoly in the cloud gaming market. Microsoft are the cloud gaming market. It wouldn't exist without them. They're doing everything in their power to grow it as a market. I mean, look what happened to Stadia. That fell flat on its face because they weren't an established gaming brand trying to then, launch this new technology. Whereas Microsoft, they're giving 10-year deals out left, right, and centre. It's like that Oprah meme. You get a 10-year deal. You get a 10-year deal. And they're growing all these much, much smaller companies that won't have that investment from anybody else. And the CMA are really seriously coming out here and saying that that's a bad thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they're
it
giving
blows
them
my
free
mind.
licenses, Jen. I mean, this is unheard of. We are definitely bridging new territory here. But I think Microsoft want to treat the cloud infrastructure just like they do with their Windows computing. Yeah, they just want it available everywhere and anywhere they can get. They typically were a
It-
software company. I think they're viewing it in the same way as that.
But I think that's a good thing. And if anything, their goals, they're making them happen. They're making these come to fruition. And it's actually a really exciting time for Microsoft, I would think. So to have people, use that against them and say, hey, you're doing this. And it's like, well, we did say we were going to do this. So it's not surprising. And you didn't mention it before. So I'm a little bit confused as to why you're upset.
Just the stupid British have got to be different, haven't we? It's
Yeah, well-
frustrating to watch. Really.
Going back to what you originally said, Riskit, I hope they pull out of the British market. I think they deserve to be pulled out of.
No, please.
I think that this
Especially
was,
because of that Jen chick. Jeez.
I
Pull
think
out.
this was a heavily politicized.
Pull out. You heard what he said. Pull out.
Pause.
Yeah, I think this is a
Yep.
heavily politicized decision. I don't think that they thought it through. The numbers that they came up with so incredibly different. They counted every single Game Pass user as a cloud user. That's just incorrect. And anybody can see that. I hope.
I'm sorry.
that
I'll
this-
just like to be on. Sorry, Pete, to put on record. Australia's internet can't support cloud gaming currently in its state. It's terrible at the moment. So, anyway.
I will disagree with that. I cloud game quite a bit. So
Oh, it's terrible for where I am. So what
Yeah.
I'm saying is the consistency across the board in Australia just isn't there.
yeah,
So,
but
and I'm sure
Cutie,
that's the
you
same in other
You
countries.
do have to remember that you are in the middle of, I believe the only term for it is bumfuck nowhere. So
Is that a real
I would
term?
say
or-
I game 50% of the time on the cloud, especially with having a family and not wanting to hog the screen. I'm constantly using it on my phone or.
I think with the
on my
popularity of handhelds, I think cloud gaming will increase in
Yeah.
popularity. So I think it is a smart move. But hey, leave me alone. That's
I-
not very nice.
What?
You make good points.
Aw,
Yes, I live in
Cutie.
bumfuck nowhere. But it's on record. It's not my birthday.
Sorry.
As of
Emotional, damn
Oh
it.
my god! Someone needs to take that thing off him.
I'm just gonna be quiet.
No, I think you're
And
making
I
great
Cutie.
points. But as far as the whole cloud thing you're going, I mean, you're right. It's just not viable right now. It's not a big thing. So for them to use that, that's why it's so fishy to me. For them to use that as a reason to say we have to block it because cloud could be this thing that they're going to threaten everybody else's business when it causes substantial SLC. It just sounds like nonsense.
Mhm.
It's not even what risk, like what 2%? It's not even 1%
It's not even one, yeah.
of the market. It's a very foolish argument. It makes no real sense.
And the other
Even
thing you
when
have to
they
think
counted
about is, sorry, Pete, to jump in, but the other thing you have to think about is and look, again, Hargeet Channy, good friend of the show, is his belief is that hardware will grow exponentially, as will the capacity of the cloud. And basically what you're going to end up with is hardware that, so small that you won't need cloud, really. You can run things natively. I don't believe that it's going to be quite one way or it's going to be quite the other. I think the use of both is always going to be necessary. I mean, look at Call of Duty. You stream in textures as you play that game. That's use of the cloud. So, there's use for it on PC, there's use for it on mobile, there's use for it on console, but it is not something that to me is something that you would look at to stop a deal. This just absolutely screams, ulterior motives to me. And I really do believe that they should launch a royal commission into the CMA's decision. I believe that they should go through emails. I believe they should fully investigate. Like I would be in there taking their laptops away and digging up emails to see what the hell is going on, because this just
We want to
all
see
looks-
those WhatsApp chats like we did with the Tory government.
This looks fishy.
There's some dodgy WhatsApp chats going on here that we need to be privy to.
But it's
And
definitely-
can you
Yeah, I
explain
mean-
what Exhibit B is? What is a GIF?
Royal
what is
Commission
Riskit?
can get them to provide evidence under oath, and I think honestly that's what needs to happen. The collusion that was going on between the CMA and the FTC, and the way she framed it by saying that since Brexit, that they've had so much more work on their plate and they're having to talk to other agencies in order to help them, I think just doesn't ring true to me at all. I think that that when she was grilled further on it, she danced around the issue. I don't have faith in that the decision didn't have an ulterior motive towards it. The numbers that they came up with were just wrong, flat out wrong. They said that it has the potential to cause future harm to the industry. I don't think that's how the CMA is meant to work. They're meant to look at, does it cause hurt to consumers now? And they can't actually, they don't know what's going to happen into the future. So just the way they frame the whole topic just looks incredibly suspect to me.
Yeah, and it feels that way. And when you consider this, you consider Austria, Belgium, Brazil, Bulgaria, Chile, China, Croatia, Cyprus, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, grants. That's a cross between France and Germany. France, Germany, Greece,
Just
Hungary,
made a new
Iceland.
country.
I thought that was a real place. I'm like, where's Grants at?
Ireland, Italy, Japan, Latvia, Japan, for fuck's sake, Japan, the home of Sony, Latvia, Liechtenstein, I don't know what that is, Lithuania, I'm sorry if anyone lives in Liechtenstein and I didn't pronounce it right, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Saudi Arabia, Serbia, Slovakia, Slovenia, South Africa, Spain, Sweden, and the Ukraine. Jesus, the Ukraine is at war and they still found time to approve the deal. Everyone around the world is approving this deal. 38 countries.
I'll ask you this, mate. Do you think that Australia will approve the deal? Because let's face it, a lot of the time we go with the UK's lead on these things. I'm worried, mate.
I believe that Australia is waiting. They've suspended their timeline, which is why you don't hear anyone talk about Australia, because I believe the NZ, that is where Red Panda is from, and we can all take a minute to feel sorry for her. But they have a timeline, whereas Australia doesn't have a timeline. They've completely suspended their timeline. I think, and Pete, I'd like to know what you think. I think that they've suspended the timeline because they're waiting to see what happens with the FTC and the CMA. I think these are the last two, and depending on what happens, because I don't think it's the CMA, Pete. Otherwise, they would have dropped a timeline, or they would have come out and said something. I really do believe they're waiting for the FTC to go to court. What do you think?
Yeah, look, that makes a lot of sense to me, and I hate that. I hate that we have to follow a country's lead, and we aren't very good. We are very slow at approving things. I don't know why our government is we're always last, to put these things through.
Mm-hmm.
Is it good for competition? That's the question you need to ask. I think the answer to that is yes, especially if you look at the market position in Sony in Australia at the moment. They are the dominant console leader by quite an extensive market. This will even up those terms. And yeah, look, I think it's good for the consumer at the end of the day.
Yeah,
We just need the EU to threaten to kick you guys out of Eurovision. If you don't agree.
Yeah, I've seen
totally.
I've seen some of that Eurovision stuff that you're posting, and it's always very interesting, Eurovision, I have to say. So I would probably, I'm even more for the deal.
Sorry, Jen, where did the UK come in Eurovision this year, even though you were hosting it? Was it last or second last? Or
I'm not.
Doesn't
I feel
matter. That's
like
like
you're trying to
saying
rub
that the
that in your
person
face.
who hosts the Olympics has to win the most gold medals.
In fairness, the song was dire. We went from a great song last year to that this year. I couldn't understand a word that girl was saying.
Was just one point.
Want to point out, by the way, Jen, Doom Cutie didn't know what Eurovision was. I had to call her
Umbra.
out.
Wow, what a blatant lie. What a this man.
I'm gonna say we let you
I
guys
called
in
you out.
year after year, and you don't know what it is.
You didn't know. Wow.
I had to get you before you got me, Cutie.
Look, if you didn't,
I wasn't going to mention it actually, Umbra. Thank you very much.
If you didn't win Eurovision, it's because you weren't weird enough. That's how I sort of see it. The weirder you are, the more chance of winning you have. But why are we talking about Eurovision?
I don't know. Why are we talking about
It's my fault.
What
I
happened?
thought Umbra appreciated cheesy music. Clearly not. He doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Well, you didn't sing any. You got to sing. I need to hear you sing.
Oh my God! Now we're definitely going to move on.
Absolutely not.
Look,
Absolutely not.
We were singing before we got on live. By the way, y'all. We were singing the cheers.
Just in private, you and me.
Yeah.
in the bathroom. Look, I'm going to move on to the next topic, but before I do, because I don't want to talk about ABK for too long. Otherwise, Jen will be here till 3 a.m. And look, let's just do it before we move on to the next topic. Let's do a roundup of what we think now, because this has been on, it's been off, it's been on, it's off, it's on, it's off. So let's do a quick roundup, quick fire roundup, and we'll start at the top. Cutie, is it going through? Is it not going through?
I think it'll go through with concessions.
Infinite Umbra, do you think it'll go through?
I think it will go through. I'm not sure if it'll be this year, but I suppose they can find some type of workaround to the CMA to at least get everything go through with it anyway, regardless of them. Yeah. We'll see.
Pete, knees on the table, and then I've already got a pair of your knees on the table, and it looks like they're going to be mine. So knees on the table, going through or not?
Yes, next year.
Absolutely. Jen, lovely knees on the table.
I think it will go through, and I think the UK will fold out of embarrassment. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
I think it'll go through. I think Cat will overrule it, and that doesn't happen very often. But I believe the pressure from the government is going to be enough, and I don't think the CMA going to want to lose face. So I think that the CMA and Cat will collude and just say, push it through. And that will take a long time. I think 5 months is the shortest amount of time. We'll move on to the next topic. Guys, if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. If you're not new here, hit the like button. We go live 8 p.m. EST every Friday. If you're in Australia, I'm not sure what time it is because they keep changing the goddamn time. I think it's 10 o'clock on a Saturday. But if you're in the UK,
Australian.
If you're in the UK, like the lovely Jen, it's 1 a.m. I'm really sorry, guys. Move on to the next topic.
That's actually, honestly, the biggest hurdle with having the guests on. It's not that, like, I would think a lot of people from the outside, it's only Americans. It's because the UK time zone and the time that we're on is just, it's so difficult. And even like, because I was on Box and Burgers, I was up at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So that's, it's not that we don't love UK. We love you, Jen. It's just, the timing is just always so horrendous.
You only get the most committed people on at this time, you know.
Like that is very true. You're a brilliant woman.
We do love the commitment. And look, before I do move on, I'll read out the super chat. Yes, I turned super chats back on, but I can't access the damn things, so I don't know why I did, but I pressed the button. Red Wolf, he said, it's about time you turned on the ding dang cash. Yeah, but I can't get to it, Red Wolf. I'm hoping to sort that out when I go to America in June. Chat, give the like button a firm but loving spank. Let it know who's boss without the cops being called. That's a good way to put it. I like to do. You don't want to choose too much violence. You want a little bit of violence, just enough to turn you. Anyway, moving on.
This is taking a turn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't write the super chat, but Legend of Zelda. Okay, so look, I want to talk about this. Legend of Zelda is definitely looking like it's going to be Game of the Year. Personally, I think it may have gotten a little bit more ups than it deserves, but I have seen people comparing, until this whole China thing happened, comparing it to Redfall. So look, let me put that to bed right now, you goddamn Xbots. Redfall was promised at 60. So that's 1. 2, it's on a machine who that has been promised as a 60 FPS. But, well, not promised, but we've been told that games will be at 60 FPS on this machine. Okay, so you cannot look at Zelda and go, oh, Zelda's gonna, but it's 30 FPS. No one ever said Zelda was going to be at 60. All right, it's a different thing. Expectation changes the expectation. So using that as cannon fodder is just stupid. Stop doing it. If anyone's doing it in the chat, please hang around. Stick here. Absolutely, Cutie. I'll go straight to you. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about surrounding this is I do believe, and the guys on RDX talked about this, and I also believe there is a little bit of media bias going on here because the performance isn't perfect. Now, that is something that should lose a point. You shouldn't be giving 10 out of 10s. You shouldn't be giving 9 out of 10s. If it's dropping below 30 FPS, then that's a problem, and that should be called out. And I've seen it called out in reviews, and then they've still been given a 10 out of 10. And that's incongruous to me. Cutie, you wanted to say something about Zelda?
I would say that the people who are comparing Redfall and Zelda, I think they're talking about it from a performance perspective, not a promise perspective, if that makes sense. But I do think that whole argument has no foundation, to be honest, because we're talking about, I mean, for Nintendo, it's a current gen console, but in regards to technology, I mean, it's been around for a long time. So I think when people do give it 10 out of 10, it's like 10 out of 10 for that console, this game on that console, because you can't play Zelda on a PC. You can't play it on. It's not. Sorry, you can. It's not. It wasn't released. It wasn't ported to PC. It wasn't ported to Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in its own little box, in its own category, it is a 10 out of 10 game. But I think if you are going to put it up against, I don't know, in a perfect world, Starfield's going to be perfect, and that'll be 10 out of 10. Are you going to put those games up against one another? I don't know.
Yes, I would run them together.
They will. They're going to put them.
fun.
Yeah, I know they will, but what I'm saying is, you're talking about Nintendo's little world on the little Switch, and then you're talking about people who are playing Starfield on, $10,000 computers.
Yeah, look, I get what you're saying. But so yes, it is the promise though, because when you buy,
yes, I know, but I think a lot of people just care about FPS.
Yeah,
so.
cool. If I wanted to play at 30 FPS, I would have kept my One X, because that does 4K 30 FPS without missing a beat. There's no dramas. So when I bought my Series X, there was two things that were promised in this new generation. That was frames per second and ray tracing. And so far it hasn't been delivered. Switch, as you were saying, has never ever touted that they would be doing 60 FPS. They never said that Tears of the Kingdom would be 60 FPS, and so you must review it for what it is, absolutely. But the tech performance of it, it's apparently dropping down. It's dropping 10 frames in points, so it's not completely flawless. And Redfall lost. Now, this is where you can make the comparison. Redfall lost points for its poor technical showing. But it also lost points because it was an absolute trash game. Sorry, guys in the chat, if you love it. I'm sorry. But there should be a point in there somewhere, at least for tech performance. Because if you're going to call it out in your review, and a lot of people have, and then given it a 10, you can't do that. You can't be like, yeah, it's technically bad, but the game's perfect, 10. Because 10 is a perfect score.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. And it's the same thing with Jedi Survivor, right? Where I gave it a 9. At first, I gave it an 8.5, though, because of the technical issues. After the patch, I said, okay, 9 out of 10. And that's probably being too generous, to be honest. But it's because of how that game made me feel that I felt it's a 9 out of 10. I think it's otherwise, outside of the bugs and issues, the bugs at least, it is a 9 out of 10 game. Probably could have been a 10 if it hadn't had those bugs, right? But I agree with you 100%, Risky. You can't just sit there and ignore that the game is dropping frames, even if the Switch is outdated and it's causing issues. So it's a hardware thing, not a software thing. That's fair to say. But I agree with you. They used that metric against Redfall, and Redfall is a trash game, however. But those technical issues and it not hitting those frames were used against it. And to be fair, like you said too, though, Nintendo never promised that. They never said, "Hey, you're going to get 30 frames locked." They never said anything like that. So I get where both of you guys are coming from with it. I would say, though, to say it's a perfect 10 out of 10, I think that's ridiculous to say when it has those types of technical issues. I think
it's more of Sorry, Jen, you go.
So you said it yourself there. It's you rated Jedi because of how it made you feel, and that's what people do with Zelda. It's this nostalgia bomb, isn't it? Really, I think people look at it through rose-tinted glasses because of that. I mean, I don't care about Zelda about as much as I don't care about things like Banjo and Kazooie. Like, people go crazy for that and wanting a remake of it. But we do have lower expectations for Nintendo as a system. So that, coupled with the fact that Zelda does hit those nostalgia beats for people, it is why it gets such high ratings.
Yeah, and that's fine, but I really I do believe that there is bias that I mean, and you guys, look, the two of you are writers. You two lovely ladies are writers. And Cutie, you're clearly, for the most part, an Xbox girl. for the most part.
Mhm.
Jen, you obviously as well,
Yeah.
for the most part. And personally, I've written a couple of things. You'll never find them because they're not under my name. But when I do, I remove my bias from my writing, and I try to step back and look at things objectively. And I really don't see that happening in the media. And I'm not taking a shot at you guys personally either, but I've seen a lot of Xbox places obviously lean on their bias as well, and I really think it's something that, Push Square, another one. I really think it's something that needs to sort of be removed from the industry as much as possible, especially when we're doing reviews.
I'll just say I don't think you can fully remove bias.
No, you
I'll
can't
say that.
because
Not with games. You
Yeah.
can't with games.
Yeah,
In this
because
day and
They're
age,
still subjective experiences.
no, the thing is, right? If you remove all of your bias, you might as well get ChatGPT to write the review for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm serious. It removes all personality from your writing, and
That's what I'll do.
But the thing is, you can always lead in and feed into your writing and say, as a big Xbox fan, I was excited to see this. However, I would say that as a massive Xbox fan, Xbox exclusive games, we would be like the most critical. We're not just going to love them instantly because they're just on Xbox. Like, I mean, yeah. And I think if we took away, well, some do, but I'm not one of those people. So what I'm saying is, if you remove 100% of your bias, you are going to take away a lot of your personality from your writing. Would you agree, Jen?
Yeah, absolutely. It's you play a game, you have a different feeling to the person next to you.
Yeah.
And that's going to come across in any review. I mean, like Diablo 4, for example, I'm not going to be the person that reviews that for Windows Central because I cannot do that objectively. There's no way I'm never going to give that game a 10 out of 10. And you should not trust me.
Why do you feel that, Jen? I'm a bigger fan of Diablo than you, though, Jen. Why do you feel that?
Great article.
But Jen, why do you feel that, though? Excuse me, just cutie. Why do you feel that, Jen, when I'm a bigger fan of Diablo than you? I don't get this.
Oh yeah, I know. You were telling me about how you always play Paladin in every
in World of Warcraft. You said you're a bigger fan than I was.
Yeah, and of WoW too. I play that more than both of her and Cutie. So
okay, yeah. How many days in the game have
big
you
Blizzard
got?
fan, aren't you?
I don't want to talk about the specifics. I'm just, that's not what we're here for today. I just want to point out.
Went right off the rails.
All I'm saying.
God, please, no!
All I'm saying is, I want to ask everyone a question. Okay. Do you think Nintendo's relying on the popularity of its exclusive games?
Yes.
Oh yeah, no question. That's always been their modus operandi. The thing is,
it's working for them. They are the highest selling console this generation, easily, far and away.
Yeah.
But if you go back and look at things like the Wii U, it didn't work for them then. So why is it working now?
That nostalgia is a thing too. I think people don't give it enough.
Yeah, Jen was right about that.
Yeah, the nostalgia is a thing.
People like to reminisce about the good old days. That's why if they brought out, a collector's collector's edition of Gears, which apparently is set to
I'm
release.
Gonna push back on that.
There's a few things. I think they make great games. I think that they are nostalgia fueled because you're going to go back and you're going to think about your past experiences with other games. And they're part of that zeitgeist. They're part. We talked about this the other day, Pete. We were talking about if we named the 5 most well-known, zeitgeist games in gaming and stuff. Zelda, Mario, and Pokemon would be in the top 3. You see what I mean?
That's not 5.
It's impossible
that's only 3.
I know, but I'm just saying those are the top 3 in that 5. I'm saying. So I'm like, you can't escape it. You know what I mean? So I think a part of that nostalgia is largely why. And they make great games to give them their credit.
I'm going to push back on
that.
And I'm going to,
I'll push back on it too.
I'm going to say, but Cutie, you just said it. I'm going to say that like the nostalgia. It's you just agree with the nostalgia.
Not about the nostalgia.
Yeah. So I push you back on the nostalgia. Like I don't think that's it. Because as you so succinctly pointed out, Jen, what about the Wii U? What happened there? Well, they weren't making great games, and they were going in a different direction. They weren't leaning. They weren't leaning on the zeitgeist, or they weren't leaning on their big tent poles. They didn't really. They didn't, and when they didn't do it well. And the difference is,
I disagree with that.
The difference is with the Switch.
Hardware was different.
Yeah, the difference is with the.
So too.
Hang on, I'm getting there. The difference is with the Switch is that they have made mechanically great games with their big tent poles. And on top of that, they were very clever with their hardware where they've made it a portable as well as a stay-at-home game. Pete, I am going to go to you because I know that you've been cut in on a couple of times. And I really did want to come in with the old...
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
But I didn't.
I love
Very
the
chatty
passion.
today.
I love the passion, and this is what happens. This is why we do a podcast. Differing opinions are always going to happen, but I haven't played Zelda. So, that's why I've sort of stepped back from the argument a little bit, because I don't know how much it takes away from the experience when it does drop 10 frames. It's got 97. That is an amazing score. There are very few games that have reached at heights, probably 10 games in the history of games. So there's definitely something there in saying that if you're dropping frames, that's definitely going to affect your gameplay. 100%. I think that needs to be taken into consideration. I have no doubt that Zelda is going to be an amazing game. I think that, all of the rose-colored glasses, the nostalgia, all of that plays into it, but I still think it's an amazing game.
Yeah, I guess, look, it does play into it. But I just think that you can't completely remove your bias. Absolutely, 100% agree with that, But I think the effort should be made to do so, to step back and objectively look at a game technically. There's points at which you can look at a game technically. You can go, hey, this is poorly put together, or this is mechanically fantastic. This story it's not for me. I don't like the story, but I can respect the storytelling. There's many things about a game, a movie, or any piece of art really where you can step back and be objective. Obviously, there's going to be a review's are always a subjective opinion, but I think when you have something like technical performance that is completely objective, it's there. Mm-hmm. It's a part of the technical. It's a part of the game. Then you need to remove a point for that. You need to be objective and go, I love the game. I love Jedi, but I'd never sit here and tell anyone that it didn't drop frames like they were fucking hot, because it does. It constantly does it, and it gives me the shit. Yeah, and so it's my game of the year. And I'd agree with you, Umbra. I'd probably give it an 8.5 just because technically it's shit. But if it was technically great, then I would 110% give that a game of 10 out of 10. And that's a subjective opinion with that objective opinion thrown in. So I think you've got to walk the tightrope. And this sounds like I'm trying to tell you ladies how to suck eggs, but I'm not. I'm really, really not doing that. I'm saying this is an industry-wide thing. I think that this sort of needs to be... Well, here's another. I also think there needs to be not a guide, a framework under which all the media works on for their reviews. Because at the moment, everyone does everything different. And I suppose it's probably an impossibility to do that. Or at least give us the framework of what your review is based around and how you review that game. Hey, this is IGN and this is our framework for when we review a game. So if you agree with the framework, then you're getting at least a review that you can vibe with. Does that make sense?
I think it makes perfect sense. And we actually asked it. I remember you asking that when we had the gentleman from, what was the name of that? Gaming Nexus. Yeah. When we had them on. So, no, I agree with that to a large degree. I don't think it'll ever be a specific consensus that they use, but it would be nice if they did. I think it would help a lot. Just for people to help understand why they got to what they got to. But again, I think, speaking on a whole writing of reviews and how people feel, it's impossible to remove your bias. It really is. I mean, you could try as much as you want when it comes to that, but when you have that feeling of nostalgia, you have that feeling of being home with the franchise and the game. It's like if I play
Halo, you get when you play World of Warcraft.
Oh, well, I play with the Paladin and the Paladin and Alliance and such against the Horde.
I play as a Griffin. I've been with the Colopton clan since day one.
I was with Huffington Tail group.
Jen, I will say the fact.
I think they're trying to change the subject, though. We're not trying to talk about WoW, ladies. Okay,
Wow.
we're trying to talk about.
Oh,
this.
don't
Yeah,
ladies us.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no.
I apologize. Maybe that sounded a bit sexist. Listen. I'm just saying we're not talking about WoW right now because I don't want to embarrass you guys with my wealth of knowledge of WoW. I'm trying not to do that right now, Jen and Cutie. You feel me? So I was trying to say before I was so rudely interrupted. The nostalgia, I think, it's impossible, Riskit, to really remove that bias from your heart. It's nothing you can do about it. Again, if I play Halo, that bias is going to be there in my heart because that is my favorite franchise of all time. When I play it, I'm probably going to add a point or two to it just because I love that franchise. And if they do just something right for me, I'm like, yeah, I love that. Just Master Chief saying a one-liner or something like that is probably going to get me to be more hyped for it than the average person who plays something else and it's not their favorite franchise. So my thing is for
in a party, Umbra, and we wanted to standardize how games are actually reviewed, and so that can be the subjective views and nostalgia can come into the story elements of the game, how it made you feel. But if you add performance, graphics, sound design, environmental design, you can kind of come up with a standardized, thing that everybody can go off, and I think that will go a long way in solving that issue.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine Zelda in Unreal Engine, Umbra?
Oh. Almost climaxed. Anyway, I was going to say.
Oh my!
Wow.
That's emotional.
Damn it!
No,
God, please, no!
Too late. So I was going to say, I think so. The thing is that it's the nostalgia. Plus, again, the game is great, right? I'm not doubting it. I know they know what they're doing. So it's those things added to it that people are just going to typically overlook. Those type of technical issues. When you love something, you overlook things. It's just the way it is in life.
Yeah, and that's absolutely 110% true. I do want to move on to the next topic because we have beaten up on the media and a little bit, and two of these lovely ladies. We're not allowed to say that now. You just told us we're not allowed to say that, right?
I wasn't joking. You could say lovely ladies.
Two of these lovely ladies are in the media.
It's the first time he's ever called me a lovely lady. I'll just go on record to say that.
I've said
are they behaving well because I'm here?
I think they might be, Jen.
What?
I think,
we are always well behaved, aren't we, gentlemen?
Constantly. Yeah, absolutely.
Jen,
You see me not well behaved.
Pete.
Look, we did.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Definitely going to move on to the next topic. But before we do, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you are new here, we go live EST. Damn it, I went backwards. 8 p.m. EST every Friday. And if you're in the Australia, it is 10 a.m. in the East and 8 a.m. in the West. We've got a couple of super chats we're going to get to here as well. AJH really didn't appreciate this one, man, but thank you for the £2 super chat. He said UK pies, and you can't group these together. What are you doing? So he said UK pies over Kiwi and Aussie pies. So first of all, no. Second of all, Tim Tams are better. Third of all, you can't put Kiwi pies in the Aussie pies category because they're not the same. And then UK, you make one type of pie and you put too much pastry on that damn thing. A pork pie. Aussies.
You know what that sounds like to me? Riskit, it sounds like pork pies.
Yeah, porky pies, lies. That's just absolutely unequivocally not true. Not true. So I'm removing that one from the list. Garuda Intruder with the Australian $5 super chat. Thanks, mate. He's a good friend of the show and has been on the show. He's absolutely awesome. Go follow him on Twitter. He said it's sad that Nintendo games play best on every other platform but their own. Yeah, it is. It is. And I mean, I would never use an emulator to play a Switch game, Huggy. You can hit me up later and tell me how that works, just out of pure research purposes. Huggy Channy. Huggy Channy with the $5 super chat. He said, should a Honda Civic be docked for not performing like a Lambo? The game is rated for the game. Aggregate meta for Nintendo is lower than Xbox and PlayStation. Yes, I did hear you make this point, and I quickly disregarded it. No, look,
it's so true.
Look, it's a good point. It's absolutely a good point. But Hargeet, I will say to you, sir, that the game is dropping frames. That's technical performance. I completely agree. I don't think you should be like expecting the game to perform at 60. That's 110%. We definitely said that. But if it's dropping frames within its own ecosystem, with its own hardware, then that's definitely something that should it should be doctor point for that. And I don't think it is, because everyone's like, yeah, it's the Switch. We didn't expect it to perform, at least the bare minimum 30 frames. That's fine. Yeah. And if it was Xbox, Huggy, what would it be like? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, AJH, I can't believe I haven't blocked you yet. I'll work on that. Pies, man, you put kiwi pies and Aussie pies in the same fucking category? No.
I think the better response to that, and I get what Hargeet is saying, right? But this would be my counter. I do not expect a Civic to run like a Lambo. I would, however, not expect that Civic to run like a Ford Model T. So I think that's the better response, because yeah, it's not I don't expect it to overperform, but it's not even performing where it should be at either. You see, so that's part of the issue. So I get him. I get what he's saying, but you can't compare it to the Xbox and such and the PlayStation. I get that 100%, but it's underperforming even where a Civic would be at when it drops those frames like that. So you still can't just be like, oh, 10 and ignore that. That's my whole thing of it. That's all.
Oh, let me get another super chat on pies, and I'm going to read that one straight out. Yeah. So Tom 909-0. That's how I read it every time, by the way. With the £2 super chat, he says steak and kidney, apple meat, and tatty. What the hell is a tatty?
Potato.
Oh,
really?
I think that was in response to you saying that the UK only has one type of pie, which I didn't rise to because I thought you were trying to trigger me. But yeah, he's just suggesting some other fillings that we have over here.
Tatty.
Yeah,
hey, baby, can you put me on some tatties on the table?
I don't think you do. I mean, where do you sell those? Because look, I've been all around the UK. I don't want to turn this into the pie podcast, but I've been around the UK, right? And we're passionate about our pies in Australia. Like, if it only misses Max, take it back. But like, where do you go to get these? I mean, apple pie, that doesn't count, dude. We're talking savoury pies, Tom. All right, so we'll just push that.
Yeah, savoury pies. Have you never been in a pub in England?
Oh yeah, but you do those ones that are in like the crockery, and then they got like a lid. It's not really a pie, is it?
No. That doesn't count as a pie. I will agree with you there. A pastry lid does not a pie make.
No,
Let's make that clear.
Yeah. It's a stew
That
with
is
a lid.
Fake pie.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
It's a fraudulent pie.
Actually, nearby me, we do have a restaurant called The Pie Factory that does pretty decent pies. So there are plenty of places to go. So next time you're over here, I'll give you a nice list from TripAdvisor. All
right, I'm down. I'll be over there, I believe, around Gamescom, because I'll be going to that too. All right, moving on to the next. So PlayStation announces their showcase. So I mean, there's sort of a lot to sort of unpack here, especially, and this comes at a time where I think PlayStation fans really need it. They've become fervorish on Twitter. And I think it's quite factual that they have no games. And look, to be honest, my PS5 has just been sitting there gathering dust since November. So, I mean, I can completely understand. I don't take it personally when they're getting crazy on Twitter, because I know, they don't have anything else to do, and that's fine. I get it. I'm just poking fun. I love it.
You love going crazy on Twitter. What are you on about?
I wanted to go through sort of my predictions on what I think we're going to see. And I know there's some hot takes out there, but I don't really have any hot takes on this. I think it's going to be pretty meat and potatoes. I think we're pretty. So look, possibility. Here's the biggest one. Metal Gear Solid. Well, definitely. I think we're probably going to see that based on the leaks that we're hearing. I think we're going to see a Metal Gear Solid. I think that'll be a CGI. In fact, I think most of these will be CGI. Ghost of Tsushima 2, 110%. I think we're going to be seeing that. Death Stranding 2 is almost a foregone conclusion. It's been announced, and I think they've done enough to be dropping gameplay of that. Ghost of Tsushima, I think we'll see some gameplay, personally. Last of Us multiplayer, oh my God, if they don't show this, I am going to love it. I'll spend all day on Twitter. Look, Santa Monica, people are saying that they'll show the new game. No, they just dropped God of War in November. Like what? No. I don't think that's going to happen.
What are you talking about? No, but it's not Sony Santa Monica proper. But I could see Barlog showing his game at least, or announcing it. He's working on some spacefaring game, from my understanding.
So I think the development, this is just off the top of my head, and I have looked at so many numbers for so many studios so many times. Off the top of my head, I think that Santa Monica's development team's sitting close to 300. And I would bet that that most of those guys were working on God of War Ragnarok. And then they probably would have shifted. That's generally what they tend to do. If you look at the development of God of War 2018 in that documentary, really interesting documentary. If you guys haven't watched it, look it up. It's really, really good.
That was good. I liked it.
I just saw that super chat. Look, and when they stopped development for a game that actually didn't launch, they shifted everyone over to God of War, and there was a skeleton crew on God of War. And then they beefed it up and pumped out development. I feel like that's exactly what they will do with this game. I just don't think they're going to be there yet. And knowing Corey, I think he'll be cagey. I don't think he'll show anything. That's my personal feeling. We'll go to you, Umbra, next, though. Wolverine, 110%. I think we're going to see that. A lot of people don't think we're going to see it. But yes, I think we'll see it. They need to come swinging. And I don't think what I've just said here is enough. And Spider-Man 2. I mean, we're going to see that, of course. Just one thing that someone brought up to me, like, what if Spider-Man's co-op? Okay, I don't know how this has been missed, but the developer came out and stated that they are not doing Spider-Man 2 as co-op. So there's a bit of that going on, and I don't think... just a little bit of research, people. Just a little bit of research. Umbra, what do you think we're going to see at the Sony showcase?
Well, we talked about this on mine, and as well as with Red Dead Panda and Ashtray and Guru with the Gamers Initiative. Congrats again on you guys hitting 100 episodes. I think the safe bets are Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy 16. I think they're going to show Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth rather. That makes sense.
Is that what it's called?
Rebirth, yeah.
Okay.
I think those are safe. The Last of Us factions, I think, is past time for them to show that. So I expect them to show that. I don't know if it'll release this year or not. I kind of suspect that it will, but I expect them to at least show it this year. To me, that makes a lot of sense. A few other things. You got DS2 that was already announced. They might show more of that. DS2 being Death Stranding 2. That was already announced. Silent Hill 2, you can expect them to show gameplay of that. Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, more than likely, because there's way too much smoke for that. You got Jez, you have a few other insiders speaking on that and literally mentioning it. Andy Robinson, I forgot from Games Venture, I forgot what who's he's with, but he even made a tweet like, I hope PlayStation fans are geared up, and like he capitalized the G and all. Like it's not even a secret at this point that Metal Gear is going to be there. Now also that's 2 games locked down from the Konami franchises, like well-known zeitgeist franchises: Silent Hill 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, and now we're hearing Castlevania, which is some AAA game according to Jeff Grubb. It might be a reboot of the series. I don't know how they might do it. I don't know how they might approach it. I was thinking, I floated the idea, what if it's a AAA remake or of Symphony of the Night or something, but taken away from the 2D into like a 3D realm? I imagine that would be pretty dope. Especially if they use a great engine for it, Unreal. So stuff like that, I think I think stuff like that will I think rule the day. And again, we spoke on it before. We said it, and I'll say it one more time. Sony going before Microsoft at all speaks to me at least, of confidence that they have going for this event. There is a leaked list, of course. Did you know about that, Riskit?
No, but I mean, I don't. Yeah, look, I've seen a couple
a supposed leaked list, rather.
Yeah. I every single time.
Is this that really fake looking one that it looks like someone's done on a power presentation?
Yeah,
like somebody put on a presentation in front of some PlayStation icons and then took a potato screenshot or something like that. Yeah,
I've just seen a photo of a fake Xbox one as well. I don't know how new that one is, but that looks just about as bad.
Oh, the Xbox one was hilarious. That was purposely tongue in cheek, but yeah.
I don't put much stock into PlayStation rumors. They've just that there's a couple of things that they really suck at. Games, no, I'm kidding. But there's a couple of things that they really suck at. Podcasts and leaks. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to a PlayStation podcast, but Yeah, it leaks. They just never seem to. They just
Have
never seem
any.
to come out. Yeah.
Yep.
I think you can.
So
I think you can trust that. I think anytime there's a leak, then you can trust the opposite's going to happen. So if Metal Gear has been leaked by the PlayStation side, then it's not coming. But if an Xbox
I
guy leaked
agree.
it, it's coming.
I agree. With Jazz having said it, Jeff Grubb having agreed with it,
Yeah.
other people like Andy Robinson, I believe it.
I mean, I'll go to everyone else's predictions as well. But we'll go to Jan first, get your predictions. But before I do get your predictions, I mean, does that say something about PlayStation podcasters or personalities, or that they can't even that they don't even have sources that will leak stuff to them? I mean, does that say something about them, or is that just just coincidental?
I can't name a PlayStation personality. Seems honest.
That was brilliant, Jen. Oh, wow.
Please don't quote me on that.
Absolutely, I'm going to
Emotional,
Clip.
damn it.
You hear that, Colin?
That is clipped, Jen. Definitely clipped.
Don't. I'll be cancelled by morning. Oh dear.
So, what do you think we'll see, Jen?
Not so much predictions, more of a want for me. I'm really gagging for a Bloodborne remake. You know, they're so desperate to remake these games that are only like 4 or 5 years old. Why don't they actually remake something worth remaking? We've had a bit of a resurgence in Souls-like games recently. That's meant to be one of the best ones there is. You know, give it to the people. Give them what they want. That's what I'm looking for anyway. I think the showcase itself is going to be pretty fire. The fact that it's quite short to the point, I think it's because they've probably got some bangers to show us. I think they've got some. I said they've got some big dick energy going before Xbox. They know that they've got some bangers to show us. So I'm pretty confident that it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, I think
I
heard someone
BDE going on, huh?
Yeah, I heard someone say it as PlayStation's putting their dick on the table. So I guess that is 110% true. So I think that they can put that dick on the table purely with Metal Gear Solid. I think you do that, and that's enough energy. For one show, to be honest. To be fair, Pete, what do you think we're gonna see? And then we'll jump to Cutie.
I would love it if we got a Bloodborne remake. I don't think they're going to
Yes.
do that. I don't think that FromSoft really need PlayStation anymore. Unfortunately, if they sold the IP back to FromSoft, I think we might get it then. But, with the success of Elden Ring, I don't think they're going to go and make exclusives anymore. And that's so unfortunate because Bloodborne is an amazing game. I absolutely love it. What do I think we'll see? I think we're definitely going to see Marvel's Spider-Man 2. I think we'll see The Last of Us Factions and Final Fantasy 16. I'm really hoping to see Twisted Metal. I loved that game when I was growing up. It was one of the first games I rented from Blockbuster. So I'd rent the PlayStation out and got Twisted Metal. I had a great time playing that game. And I think that'll coincide with the launch of the TV show, which is coming out in July. So really good timing there. Stellar Blade, previously known as Project Eve, Mortal Kombat. I'm hoping to see Ghost of Tsushima 2. I think that would be awesome to see. And
Jeff
what
Grubb
do you
claims
guys?
Jeff Grubb claims that's not going to be there though. Unfortunately.
Yeah, look, Jeff has been right a lot, but he has also been wrong a lot. So, this is just what I think anyway. I think that leak was ridiculous, and I don't believe it at all. But I wanted to ask you guys if you think we're going to see a PlayStation Pro. I know that we've had this discussion, Risk.
I don't think so. I don't think that this place, it's just too soon. I think a mid-gen refresh will absolutely happen for both, though.
It's not needed yet, though. It's not.
Yeah, I don't think so. But Cutie, what about you? What do you think is coming up for the showcase?
I just wanted to finish off by saying that I agree. PlayStation coming out first hasn't happened since the end of the PS3 era. They wouldn't be doing this if they didn't have something to show. I have said it I think I've said it on the podcast before. Sony are about to drop the hammer down. It is time for Xbox to compete.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Xbox, I think, is going to have to bring it. Can't be any of that. Oh, look at this indie game thing while we missing out on showing AAAs. They can't do it. They need to showcase some AAAs this year.
I just can't wait for the drama on Twitter the day this showcase goes up. It's just going to go into meltdown. It's going to be brilliant. I'm here for the memes.
Yeah, I can see it happening right now.
I think one of my predictions, and especially with all of the lovely talk we've been giving the ABK deal, I think PlayStation will announce their cloud gaming program. It's already been in talks for a long time, and they're already revamping their PlayStation Plus program. PlayStation Plus Premium program. And yeah, what better time? And especially with all of the handhelds that are coming out, I think it would be a ripe time for them to do so that they can really place themselves as a competitor with Xbox.
That's a good point. Didn't they already float the idea of them having?
They have floated the idea.
But handhelds coming out as well, haven't they?
That's right. Yeah. So you're right. That makes sense.
We would make sense with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think potentially they'll have the Last of Us multiplayer. They'll have a trailer for that. I think that will be there. Those are my outside of like Spider-Man and all the typical stuff that we're probably going to see. I think those two things will be the surprises.
If Factions is
want
not
them to
there,
do a Benny Hill montage of all the clips from Last of Us on PC.
I don't think there'll be a Benny Hill montage, but I think there was some concept art at Gamescom 2022, so it makes sense that they would have something really solid to show us at this showcase.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're coming out swinging, and they need to. And I think this whole ABK thing is sort of them holding off, and I believe both of them have. It's run its course, and I think they're going to come out swinging. And yeah, I completely agree that Xbox needs to come out swinging. And look, I suppose we can talk. Look, I'm pretty sure I can say this now. I think I might have let it slip before, but I'm going to be there at the LA showcase, and I look. It's a bucket list thing for me, and nothing would ruin it more than 12 months. So if they come out with this 12 months thing again, look, do you know what? If they come out with the 12 months thing and it's like Avowed, Hellblade, Fable, probably I'm going to ignore that 12-month thing and be a little bit excited. But I think that would be a misstep for them.
If they've got any sense, they won't back themselves into a corner like that again. Let's just pray.
Yeah.
Look, we all think that Sony's going to come out and drop the hammer down. Well, I think so anyway. How are they going to compete with Xbox if Xbox does have Fable, Perfect Dark, Hellblade, Avowed, Forza Motorsport?
They'll lean into their Last of Us. They'll lean into Spider-Man. I think we'll see Wolverine as well, and these will be I think that they will look great, and I think they'll be really received really well.
I don't think we'll see Wolverine. Wolverine's too far away.
I reckon we'll get a sneak. I reckon we'll get something.
Yeah.
I think they'll show something with it too.
Yeah.
But
something
Metal
small.
Gear Solid 3, Silent Hill, Castlevania. I'm telling you, those games are going to land heavy when they show that.
Yeah. I think Metal Gear. If Metal Gear's there, that's really all they sort of. If they just do that, I think that's going to be enough with Spider-Man 2 for them to sort of get by. But I definitely think that we'll see Wolverine, and I won't put knees on the table with Pete, because we've already got our knees on the table for the Pro.
I already own your knees, bro. Yeah. So it doesn't really make a difference.
You own one of them. I own
one. Yeah.
We can put knees on the table then. This sounds like a knees, fingers, toes thing. Look, I do think we'll see. And Pete, it's too early, I think, to see the Pro. But on saying that, the leaks they've already come out. So we've had the leaks. Maybe PlayStation will get the jump on it. Now, if they do announce a Pro, that will put a massive shadow over Xbox, because I don't think they're ready for it.
Exactly, and that also calls to why they're going to go first. I mean, the industry will go crazy if that happens.
Yeah, but our wallets aren't ready for it. Like,
I'm ready for it. I'm ready. Give it to me now. I only want a PlayStation Pro. I won't buy a PlayStation Pro because first of all, they need some games. But second of all, The only reason I want a PlayStation Pro is because I want Xbox to go, oh shit, we need to put ours out. And the next one better be able to do 60 with ray tracing. I'm telling you. If that's not happening, I quit gaming for good. You heard it here first.
They need to actually put games out that are worthy of the hardware first, though, and we haven't seen that yet,
Thank
have we?
you.
that's-
We would love that.
What is the point?
That's true.
PlayStation for me, getting it wouldn't be worth it because I barely touched the PlayStation. I haven't touched it actually since God of War Ragnarok. So
Mhm. Same. Just gathering dust. I mean, I put a thing up there on Twitter. Actually, I had a spider web inside mine. So yeah, they're nesting. Look, we we do need to move on.
Terrible choice for a home. Terrible.
Yeah, especially when that fan starts up, because that thing's like it's like a Harrier jump jet. We'll move on to the next topic. But before we do, guys, please hit that like button. If you are new, hit the subscribe button. We go live 8 p.m. EST every Friday. If you're in the US, if you're in Australia, it's 10 a.m. Saturday, and in the West over here, it's 8 a.m. And I'm on my lunch break. And we'll go to the super chats. Hargeet Channy with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Hargeet. You're a champion. He says, you're really bickering over pies. Have you tried Asian or African food? If you're going to talk about European food, at least talk about Italian or Greek. I've never heard of those countries. So I will do some research after the
Yeah,
show
in Australia.
and see.
Never
Talking
heard of
to
the
the
black-
man that's
the
been
black
arguing with
country?
me over biscuits for 6 months.
What's African? What is African? Is that a spice? I'm not sure what that is.
African, huh? Yeah.
What's-
This does not smile greatly on Australia hearing this.
What
I
is-
just got to say,
Is that anywhere near Grants?
it might be. France might be in it. It might be a part of it. I don't know.
What's the capital of France?
Africa.
Africa.
I thought it was croissant. I don't know about you guys.
Croissant. Herbs and
That's just one of the
spices.
many countries.
Look, we'll move on to the next topic, and the next topic is very similar to the last topic, and it's just another one that I'm. Thank you, Hargeet. Hargeet has managed to get us front row tickets to the Summer Games Fest, and I will be there also. Just absolutely covered in. I went to that.
Green body paint. Let's go.
I'll be very, very
Xbox
excited.
green.
I'll be green team. Yeah, but look, this is the confirmed publishers so far, and they are saying that there will be more. Sony's not on this list. I just wanted to point that out. Activision, Amazon Games, and Annapurna, Bandai Namco, Behavior. Don't know who they are. Capcom, CD Projekt Red, Devolver, Digital Extremes, Disney, EA, Epic Games, Focus Entertainment, Gearbox, Grinding Gear Games, Hoyoverse, Kabam, Arena Studios, Infinite Level. That's going to be a terrible studio. Magic the Gathering, Neo Wiz, Netflix, Nexon, Niantic, North Beach, Paradox Interactive, Pearl Abyss, Phoenix Labs, PlayOn. PlayOn's not really a studio, though, is it? PlayStation, Pocket Pair, Razer, also not a studio. Samsung Gaming Hub, bleh. Second Dinner, Sega, woo. Smilegate Entertainment, oh. God, I hope they don't announce another one of those crossfires. Square Enix, Steam, Techland, Tribeca Festival, Ubisoft, Warner Brothers, and Xbox. So that is a
You
huge
forgot
lineup.
PlayStation.
They're not there.
It hasn't listed, doesn't it?
No, they haven't. they
Warner
haven't
Brothers
confirmed
and Play On being there makes me feel like they will talk about Hogwarts Legacy.
it. We've already had that game's dead. It's already been launched.
Shush, shush. It is just the beginning for its greatness. Okay.
What was
Be
the
quiet. That's my
announcement?
game of the year.
The announcement that they came out with just a couple of weeks before the launch. I believe it was no DLC. It's just lazy development, really, isn't it?
Doesn't mean there won't be another one. Might not be a DLC.
God, I hope not. I
Mm.
mean, I don't think. I mean, if they do, they may as well get
You're
Ubisoft.
just not their target audience, and that's okay.
They should get
That's okay.
Ubisoft to do it. Yeah, I know. I'm an adult.
Shh.
I know.
Wow, you are coming for me today. Holy crap.
Well, let me shoot you some bail, cutie. I am a full-blooded man, and anybody could tell you that. I love the game, So just want to say, Riskit, you.
Yes, but apparently
safe.
women don't count as adults
Wrong.
according to Riskit.
Well, he's
I-
he's
I-
sexist.
Yeah,
so.
I never said that. Jen, you're an adult. What do you think we're going to see? Actually,
Allegedly.
I said quite the opposite. What do you think? What are you hoping to see? That's the thing. What are you hoping to see out of the third parties? What's your fingers crossed for? What are you excited to see that you already know about?
I'm hoping to see more. Well, I don't know if we'll get this. I'm hoping to see more about The Witcher. We've had those previous announcements, haven't we, that they're working on new Witcher games. Even if it's just a lame CGI trailer, I'll be happy with that. More than anything, I'm not looking forward to covering all this. All these announcements. I've only been doing this since August last year, so this is my first experience of like high gaming news season. So it's going to be intense work-wise.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's great for all of us having all these game announcements. But yeah, it's going to be a struggle.
Are you so on that? Are you working? So you work full time for Windows Central?
No, I work part-time actually. I've got 2 jobs.
Oh,
It's
okay,
fun.
right. Yeah, right. So, and then obviously during the season, I don't know how many writers. There's only 2 writers that I know of. Well, there's 3. There was 4, but I think you moved to. But like, I don't know how many writers you've got, but it must be a monumental task to try to cover high game season.
It is, yeah, and we aren't as big a team as like someone like, I don't know, PC Gamer, who seem to have 100 writers. So we do have to like field all these announcements between us.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's fun, but it is tough when you've got it like coming thick and fast during the day. But yeah, I am hoping for some big announcements. But the like Witcher stuff is really what I'm interested in from this list from CD Projekt Red. I just don't
glad
know
everyone
if they're
let
going to
that
give
one
us
go.
taste.
I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that? Did you say it's what? It's tough on your body coming what?
Thick and fast, I heard. But,
Oh, yeah, I am too slow and too tired.
I was like, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
I know
I'm
Umbra
sorry,
muted himself.
Jen.
He was like pissing himself laughing at
No.
sorry.
I was ashamed while I was muted, Jen. I apologize for their behavior.
I will have to say.
I'll let it go.
Spicy meatball.
We'll move on to Pete. What do you? I know one of the games that you're hoping to see, and it's still a trash 360 game to me. But no, it is a great game. But I know there's definitely one that you're hoping to see. But what else are you hoping to see? And what is that game that you're hoping to see?
Flintlock, Remnant for the Ashes 2, Lords of the Fallen, Lies of P. I mean, there's so many. Space Marine 2, I really want to see. I want to see more of Dark Tide as well. But I forgot about one that I'm really looking forward to seeing, and that's Dragon's Dogma 2. I don't think we've seen it for a while since Capcom had their anniversary for Dragon's Dogma 1, I think last year. So I'm really looking forward to that. But there's so much out there. There's little indies that I want to see more of replaced, things like that. So much to look forward to this year.
Yeah. There is a lot. There's a ridiculous amount coming, and with all those publishers, I don't know if there's an announcement for how long the show is going to go for, but I know it's over multiple days, so it's going to be a big one, a very big
Dark
one.
Raiders, Atlas Fallen,
Yeah.
Armored Core. I mean, the list just goes on. We really are just about to hit the surf. Like, we're just touching the. There's a lot to come very soon, I hope.
Absolutely, Umbra. What are you hoping to see? What do you think we will see?
I'm hoping for a few things. I see Amazon games listed here, and my mind goes to Lord of the Rings. It also goes to, although I've come to find they don't have the license for that for gaming necessarily. So, but I'm also hoping, if not that, then definitely Lost Ark, which is an action RPG on PC, Steam rather. I'm hoping that is brought over to consoles. I've been wanting to play that. My computer, for whatever reason, it has the specs to run it. It's just not running it. I don't know what's wrong with that. Like Pete pointed out, Bandai Namco being there, more than likely that means we're going to see Armored Core 6 there. So I'm happy to see that. CD Projekt Red being there. I am expecting to see the DLC Phantom Liberty for Cyberpunk. We got Devolver. They always bring some great games. So I'm hoping to see the Plucky Squire gameplay from that. Yeah. So I know Devolver does their own show, so they might not show it there, but I'm hoping they do because that game looks very promising, as I'm sure you all agree.
Mm-hmm.
You got Disney there, and so I'm Disney might just kind of show some kid family type stuff. I don't know. I guess
It's
they'll
definitely
probably
a game that definitely exists, just might be there the day before.
Yeah.
Definitely doesn't. That game doesn't exist. I would not
You
expect
got-
to see that at all.
You
But
got,
look,
you
that's
got
it.
Focus.
Hang on, Umbra. Just going back to your
Okay.
Disney, and you said kiddie games. I'm going to have to sort of. I'm not going to say it that way. I'm going to have to disagree. I was about to say push back, and that just doesn't seem appropriate in the circumstance. But Disney has the Star Wars license. Ubisoft's going to be there.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering now. Now Disney I think Disney proper themselves are going to just show like something kiddie. I think their partners like Ubisoft or EA, they will show Star Wars. That's what I'm thinking. Because EA is there too. So I don't know. Maybe they'll show something Star Wars related there. That's possible.
Mhm.
But I don't know if Disney themselves would show it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, well, Disney is sort of notorious for being with the Spider-Man franchise and how that all sort of went down. They're now notorious for keeping a tight grip on their IPs. So they may could be able to reach out to Ubisoft and say you have to show this here.
It's
and
possible.
We didn't see anything
It's
at the
possible,
Disney
sure.
at the Disney show for May the 4th. So that obviously makes it, it's interesting. Sorry to jump in there.
It's possible. No, it's possible. I mean, they could also announce new Marvel games too, to say that, by the way, since they own that license. They could show some Marvel games coming.
Mhm.
Maybe that's possible too. Focus Entertainment being there, I'm expecting to see obviously more Flintlock. And are they publishing
Atlas? Yep.
Atlas? They're
Yeah.
doing that, right?
Yep.
Man, Focus, they need more love. Focus, by the way, everybody in the chat, Focus Entertainment has been on a run this year. They also have their Aliens game coming out, don't they?
They do.
Like
Yep.
they've been on a tear. Like they got some great games left and right coming out this year. And they've already released a few already.
I think this is the publishing arm of and I was sort of looking into this because we've been talking about this in the background, and Focus has really been coming up. But if you look at their titles, and they're absolutely right. I've been a big proponent of saying Focus is one to look at. But they sort of have been picking up studios or games to publish, and they're sort of throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks. That's not a bad thing because they are getting some really good IPs. I think some really good games, and they're putting out a ridiculous amount of games. If you go through the list on the Xbox of what's coming, I would say a good maybe 1/6, and that's not a small number of those games are Focus. So, and they put out some real bangers. So yeah, Focus is one to watch. Absolutely.
Absolutely want to watch. Matter of fact, I would dare say it sure would be ashamed if Microsoft had to bring them some freedom and acquire them. Anyway,
oh no, don't start that.
Larian Studios. Now I have to mention them just because my buddy is a Larian stan. They make a lot of great RPGs. I wonder what they might have there. You got
Maybe they'll
Netflix.
announce that they'll actually get Baldur's Gate onto the Xbox.
I'm hoping that they show that there. Yeah,
I hope so. I was really bummed out that there's a possibility we're not getting that.
They're going to bring it. They said they're just working out, I guess, the technical issues. So we'll see how that works out. Netflix, I'm guessing they're going to show off the Oxenfree 2, I'm guessing. So, I never beat the first one, so whatever. Pearl Abyss, I'm actually excited because I think they're going to show off more of that desert. What's the name of that one? Not Crimson Desert. I almost said Black Desert, but that's the other one. They got Crimson Desert, which is in third person rather action RPG. That looks dope. So I'm hoping to see that there, more of that fleshed out. PlayStation is there. I'm not sure what they'll show. Same with Xbox. I think they're going to probably show something simple.
So it's not.
Well, they got them listed. No, they have them listed on their thing, both PlayStation and Xbox. So I'll just take it for that.
Really?
I don't know how that's going to work. Yeah, PlayStation and Xbox are both listed.
I
don't know what they're going to show there.
On the Summer Games Fest show?
Yeah.
That must be pretty recent because I checked it yesterday and they weren't there.
Yeah, look it up.
Yeah.
Also, Square Enix is there. I'm not sure what they'll do. Steam is there. I couldn't tell you. Techland. Now I see Techland, so my mind goes to Dead Island 2. I'm wondering if they're going to announce anything. Techland is involved with that, right? Am I wrong? No. Techland is not with Dead Island 2 anymore. They don't have
Dying
that,
Light.
right?
Dying Light.
Dying
but
Light.
it
So they'll
definitely could
probably
be some
show that.
DLC for yeah, for Dying Light.
Right. I knew it was some zombie game.
Well, they actually
yes.
did make Dead Island, and
They
were
did, right?
meant to make Dead Island 2, but it got handed. But like they didn't like their vision, and it got handed to. Oh God, I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but they did a great job. Dambusters, an internal studio, finished it.
Right.
Did a fantastic job.
And it switched like 3 different studios or something like that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So originally it was Techland who made the original one. So yeah, I knew it was something like that. You got Ubisoft there. I'm wondering what they'll show. I mean, I'm guessing obviously Assassin's Creed. If they showed a Star Wars game there, like Risk, like you were talking about with them being there, that would be dope. I would love to see what they're doing. You have Warner Brothers, and I can only guess that that'll be the Lord of the Rings part. Maybe we'll see something from them with that. Maybe the Golem game that they've been working on all this time, and they probably show something, I guess, related to the delayed. What's the name of it? Suicide Squad. Maybe we'll see what's up with that. Maybe they'll announce something there. I don't know.
What about Kojima?
Nah.
Kojima is going to be at the Xbox thing if they show anything for him this year.
Nah, I think too early for Kojima, to be honest. And he was working on something cloud, so they would probably then flip their ruling and ban them because, Kojima would just take over the cloud.
Quiet on that for the moment.
Arc 2. I want to see Arc 2 as well. God, I mean, look how many games we just listed. There's a crazy amount of games to choose from. This really is going to be a great year.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely
Hollow Knight,
huge.
Silksong.
Oh yeah, but if they showed that though, that would be at the Xbox showcase, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's going to be the Silk side. Well, yeah, I mean, what do we got coming up? We got like System Shock, Diablo 4. I'm sure we'll see some of that at the Xbox showcase. Like you guys were saying, Baldur's Gate, that could be coming. Atlas Fallen, that's another one to look for. Armored Core as well.
No one's talking about Forza Motorsport.
That's Xbox show.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly, there's a ridiculous amount. Like you said, Hollow Knight. I mean, if PlayStation is confirmed, you're right. Absolutely, Umbra. I mean, Pete said, or he said Arc Raiders, Arc 2 as well. You can tell that I'm just flicking through a list. Remnant
I can't believe
2.
no one's mentioned Skull and Bones. I mean, what's wrong with us?
Yeah.
Who cares about that?
Yeah.
Didn't I already take you guys' knees over that?
I mean,
look, I definitely never lost my knees.
After playing it, I can tell you it's game of the year, no doubt. One that you guys have missed that I really, really hope we see and I want to see gameplay for, Warhammer Space Marine 2.
Yes, absolutely. I forgot all about that.
I'm really keen.
I just said that.
Did you?
Yes.
I didn't hear you at all. My bad.
And Dark Tide for that matter, because I know that's having a lot of technical
what the
difficulties,
hell
but I
happened to
think it looks
Dark
like a great
Tide?
game.
Yeah, we supposed to got that way earlier this year.
Yeah, unfortunately. Look, I mean, the developer came out and said they're bad, they made a mistake, they're fixing the issues, they've taken microtransactions off the game until it is fixed. I think
that's good.
Like I said before, the bones of the game is there. I think there's something special there. They just need to iron out the kinks.
There's another one that I'd really like to see as well, a bit more coming from Ubisoft. Well, there's 2 actually that I've sort of really been waiting on to see what they're like, and Splinter Cell Remake is like up there on my list, and I know they're both remakes, and Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake. Those 2 have been announced.
What about the Star Wars open world game?
Yeah, well,
that'd be amazing.
That was we were talking about that. We were talking about that earlier. No one's listening to anyone. Chat, throw tomatoes in the chat for both Umbra and Pete.
What if Netflix announced a Gears of War?
Gears, yeah. Well, that's Gears of War will be Xbox. No, Netflix. Oh, the TV show.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe that'll be. I hope they don't put that at the showcase, but maybe it will. I just want to see games. Yeah, that's mainly what I want to see.
But Netflix is there. But there's Netflix gaming, I suppose. But
yeah.
They show both. I mean, why not? He
true.
has done that at his show, so it's possible.
That's true. Yeah, they could have a big announcement and keep that in the Games Fest, and then just do a little thing in the Xbox show. Yeah.
I know you guys aren't really tabletop gamers, but Magic the Gathering, I think that's going to be pretty good. Recently, it's picked up a lot of steam. I'm just saying. I'm seeing it everywhere from the content creator side of things, and yeah, I think it's really digging its
Never
claws
know.
into a lot of other
I
gamers.
guess.
Yeah.
Did
You know,
they
if they
not
had
get in
some-
like loads of controversy recently for sending the heavies round someone's house?
Yes,
Yeah, they
that's
did, yeah.
true. Yeah,
What they do?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically
they sent
some
unreleased.
some streamer or something, I think it was, got sent unreleased cards by accident.
Oh,
And he showed them on his channel, so they sent like the Pinkertons.
Yeah, they literally sent the Pinkertons to his house.
Oh, wow.
It's such a funny story, yeah.
Yeah,
So like
it's pretty
Magic
funny.
the Gathering, the king of nerds,
Oh wow.
basically got the mafia working for them.
They come with the derbies on their head and everything like that too. And
Go
everything
around,
with-
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
The pinstripe suits, the whole bit. Yeah.
Here you got you some
fantastic.
unreleased cards. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
Pulls out a
We're
six
gonna
shooter.
rough you up.
See, Grey Monad knows what we're talking about.
Oh, he
It's a
loves
great card game.
loves a great card game.
Gray is fun. He don't play any card games.
But there's one that we
I
sort
don't
of
think
missed.
anyone would brag that they play Magic the Gathering, Umbra. I mean, I could be
MTG
wrong.
for him, he wasn't talking about Magic the Gathering. He was talking about money taking girls. That's what he meant.
What?
That's what
I mean, I don't know
MTG
what kind of
stands
game that
for.
is, but
What?
Money taking girls. It's
Wow.
the best game in the world.
No, God, please, no, no.
Look, there's another one I just wanted to throw in there that we missed with the Sony one. It's one that I didn't think of actually. Now we're talking about Star Wars, and it sort of triggered my memory. But what about the Star Wars Eclipse?
I
That's-
mentioned that earlier on Gamers Initiative, and everyone told me that it got pushed back and delayed. I hadn't heard
It
anything
did.
about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it got pushed back. They had a situation with the devs they were bringing on, and that has been
That's sad.
delayed. I'm glad I paused. It's been delayed for a few years, they said, at the very least.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, look, man, here's the thing. Like all the controversy, all the ABK stuff, everything, every I would say Xbox gamers have gone through a fair bit this year. PlayStation guys as well with no games. I mean, I really feel sorry for them having no games. Know what it feels like. But like this, I think 2023 is starting to come into its own. I think we're going to start to see cadence going into 2024 from third party, from PlayStation, from Xbox, maybe not PlayStation. And I think it's just going to be, one of the best years for gaming if you're not a PlayStation fan. I mean, for everyone. So it really, really has been. There's so much coming third party. There's so much coming on Xbox for Xbox fans. And we're going to see at the showcase. And I don't doubt that there's so much coming in 2020, back end of 2024, 2025, if you're a PlayStation fan. So, you know, this is really the best time to be alive if you're a gamer. Yeah, I'm absolutely super hyped, man. I cannot wait to go to the show. That's less than a month away for me. So I'll be there. I'll try and take some photos. I'm not going to wear green body paint, as has been suggested. I may or may not wear fishnet stockings. I'm
as long as they're green.
I'm going to hug Phil, whether he likes it or not.
Oh, God.
I'm not going to hug Sarah Bond, whether she likes it or
Despite the
not. because
restraining
that's-
order.
Yeah, that's going to be
Well, and if there isn't one, there will be one. Yes.
They will have to this show.
definitely going to hug Aaron Greenberg because he's a legend of the community. Don't know about Matt. Matt doesn't have that huggable personality, but we'll see.
I'll hug you, Matt. It's okay.
Look, it's been an absolutely fantastic show, and we do have to wrap it up. I am very, very conscious of time, and Jen, it's probably something ridiculous over there, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., so I don't want to keep you much longer.
2:55 to be precise.
Good Lord. So guys in the chat,
Well,
you've
thank
been
you, Jen.
absolutely amazing. You're absolute champions. I'm going to skip the outros of the panel because they just don't deserve. No, I'm kidding. Jen, you've been absolutely amazing. You've been a fantastic guest. We loved having you on. Love chatting games with you. And guys, if you do want to find Jen, you can head down in the description and click on any of those links, and you will be able to find her there. The link to Windows Central is also there. Go and jump on her Twitter and follow her. She has some spicy takes. And let people know where they can find you, what
Please
you'd be
read
up
my
to.
articles. Nobody else does.
I shared your article out. Didn't get any love for it, but that's all
I'm
good.
joking. I know you did.
Yeah, but let people know where they can find you, what your week's looking like, and what you're looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to going to sleep. After that, game wise, playing games I can't talk about. Pretty tough, but we'll be able to soon. And I am testing a few headsets over the next week. Not really that
fun.
exciting. Yeah, it's not at all.
I've only ever reviewed one headset, so that's exciting for me. I like it.
Oh, right. Yeah. You once you've done a few, you know, you'll get bored of it. Trust me.
I currently own 8 microphones, Jen. Just saying.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. They only give me microphones.
Just in response to
So
Bobby,
you're a
'cause
microphone influencer.
Bobby's not feeling the love. He said, "Are you going to sniff his hair?" Yes, but not while I'm hugging him. My plan was to do that before I hug him. So what I'm going to do, right, is I'm going to walk up behind Phil, and I'm going to crouch as I do it, so I'm below his shoulder height. And then I'm going to stand up very, very slowly, and I'm going to breathe in very deeply, and then tell him his hair smells pretty, and then I'm going to hug him.
Lord.
Absolutely.
You're definitely going to be removed from the event.
That is my
That's
love
him
for
right
Phil.
there.
Phil, I love you. And then when they try to like get the security to like tackle me, I'm going to run around the theater like taking off pieces of clothing. Anyway, so moving on. That's 110% what I'm not going to do any of that.
You rise up, smelling his hair. Your hair smells good. He's going to be like, I hear you. Security.
I'm not going to do any of that, Phil. If you're listening, I'm just kidding. It's been an absolutely fantastic show. Again, Doom Cutie, fantastic takes today. Loved having you here as we do every day. Tell everyone where you'll be up to. It's why I ran out of breath.
Wow. Thanks so much for having me. And Jen, you've been amazing. Loved having you on. You're incredible. Lovely, lovely member of the journalism gaming community.
Birthday.
It's not my
Nice to
birthday.
balance the sausage fest.
Yes, it always is good. And it's not my birthday. We keep talking about this, okay? It was my birthday 2 weeks ago.
Birthday to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She thanks you.
You wish it was your birthday now.
So when he did it, it was bad. When she did it, it was okay.
Yeah.
You see, y'all see this?
Misandrist. Yeah. Misogyny.
Yeah.
We're not mods on
Can
a
you
show.
please stop interrupting my outro?
She likes me more than you guys.
Sorry, Cutie, go ahead.
I'm actually really excited to launch my passion project this week. I was recruiting for panel members for an all-female gaming podcast lineup, specifically for Australian women. And my tweet got 100,000 views. So very, very excited. I've got a lot of applications to go through. That will be launching on the 1st of July. So that will be taking up lots of my time this week as things start, rolling in, lots of things that I need to get done. I'll probably be trying to finish a bit of Lego stuff because I really like that game. I'll be playing the game that I can't talk about, just like Jen can't talk about. And
What could we be talking about?
I have no idea. But definitely. I'll put my links in the chat. Definitely follow along on my Twitter so you can get the updates about the Confessions of a Gamer Girl podcast launching July 1st.
Yes, and if
I
you're
did apply, but she told me to go back to the UK where I came from.
Yeah, and if you're wondering, is it a misandrist podcast? Yes. Are you wondering, is it a zealot podcast? Yes. 110%. Men aren't invited.
Yeah.
No one from outside.
I'll be supporting it.
Look, to be fair, guys, come on. Especially in Australia, there is a massive hole in the market for females in gaming. So it's we want to have a voice. We want to feel supported, and I really, really am excited to bring this to the community.
Absolutely, and you definitely should have all female mods, and we should be ignored. Look,
exactly.
It has been great to see Cutie working on her podcast, and she has been going all in. Sorry, I just wanted to get that out.
We definitely got to retire that one.
One time. I love that. I don't know what's well, you were going to go first, but now you're going to go second.
That pierces the eardrums right there.
Infinite Umbra, another fantastic show, man. Let people know where they can find you, what you be up to. Let's get Jen out of here because I'm sure she's literally like eyes closing, falling asleep, doing the head nod.
Absolutely. Jen, much love to you. Thank you for joining us. It's been great having you here with us.
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Absolutely.
Really chuffed. Bye.
Enjoy your sleep. Enjoy your sleep. Just want to announce here that Doom Cutie has seen my application process, and she has accepted me as a mod for her show. And I promised not to allow any misandry and xenophobia for everybody in the chat. So you can count on me to make sure that
Wow,
these
the
ladies
slander.
to make sure that these ladies stay in their place. I know I'm joking. I'm just messing.
Good
All
God.
love, Cutie. Good luck to you going forward. I know you're gonna do your thing. Yeah, hey guys, thank you all for being here with us tonight. I am tired, man. We did another podcast, me and Pete earlier, celebrating with Red Dead Panda, Ashtray, and Gaming Guru and Boba, as far as their 100th episode. And then we came here and had to, do our thing here too. It is what it is. It's what we do. So you all can find me, of course, Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite on Twitter. And you can find me here as well on YouTube's for the fix, or you can look under my name. I would share the link in there, but I'm too tired to do it right now. Look me up if you haven't subscribed to me, and give a brother a subscription if you would, please. I would greatly appreciate it. The fix airs on Thursdays at 8 o'clock Eastern. I'm trying to limit it and get it down shorter to an hour and a half at most. We did not hit the mark, but we just went over a bit over 2 hours the other day. And of course on Xbox Factor with Boom and Cast on Tuesdays at 12 o'clock Eastern. And of course here every Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern. So thank you all in the chat for being here. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't. Oh, and much love to my panelists and host here.
All right, fantastic. Pete, let people know where they can find you. We'd be up to in Hazy Week. Another fantastic show.
I'm depressed because I finished Jedi Survivor and I don't really know what to play. I'm starting Gotham Knights
Don't
at
you
a
hate
really good
that?
price. Yeah,
Like when you finish a book and you don't know what to do with your life.
Yeah, I mean, you're just on such a high after the credits roll. I was actually applauding the game. I rarely do that, but when the credits rolled, I actually got up and started applauding. I just love everything about that game, so not sure what I'll be playing, but thank you, Jen. I know I'm worth staying up for, not so much these guys. Oh, she's not here anymore. Damn. Cutie, I can't wait to see your podcast. I know and expect great things from you, and I'm so happy for you. I really, really
Thanks,
am.
Pete.
Wait a minute, wait, time out.
Fix
I
is
said that
just
like that
okay,
nice thing,
mate.
and she didn't give me no all. You heard that? Did you hear that, Risk?
She knows I'm sincere, bro. So
Oh,
there's a
that
difference.
is true.
Yeah.
That is a difference. That's fair.
No!
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, look, this is 2 podcasts in a row for me, but it was worth it. It was so good to celebrate with Panda and Ashtray and Elite on their 100th episode. So if you haven't gone and supported their podcast, please do so. I don't think that podcast is known by enough people. Great show. Thank you, Riskit. Another amazing job. Sorry, mate. I thought I was muted before. Let's go. Let's go game, guys.
Yeah, look,
Yes,
absolutely. Before we do go, there is a couple of super chats I just want to read out as well. And thank you to the panel. Thank you to Jen. Jen, she's amazing. Guys in the chat, you have been absolute champions all show. And you come and support us every week, and we really appreciate it. And definitely head over to Panda's podcast. It's good. Drawn TJ with the $2 super chat. That didn't sound very sincere, but I was trying to think of a word and I couldn't think of it, so it sounded insincere, but it sincerely is a very, very good podcast, and I don't think enough people go there. It's a little bit early. It's at a bad time slot. Maybe we'll talk to them about that too. Drawn TJ with $2 super chat. He says, "Hi guys, great topic so far. Thank you, TJ. You are a champion." Vic the Click with the $5 super chat says, "Amazing episode, Riskit, and all the ladies." I think he's referring to Pete and Umbra as well. So thank you very much, Vic the Click.
He clarified in the chat that he was calling us ladies. Yes.
Yeah, so that's fantastic. And also Lord Starkiller, who isn't able to make it here live. He dropped in a couple of super thanks as well. One for my stream for Game on Cancer, and he said, "I donated to Game on Cancer using the link you provided in the chat. Thanks for highlighting this because my aunt passed away due to cancer." Yeah, it is a horrible thing, man, to deal with cancer. I've got a cousin that we're dealing with it right now. It's never a nice thing. So as much as I could do for Game on Cancer, I will do, and I will hopefully do some more streams and try to help them out as much as possible. But my stream made a grand total of $0, so I don't know how much help I will be. His next super chat was, or super thanks was, "As recognized by the market as the market leader, Sony PlayStation should be taken much more to task over why they have not launched any first-party AAA games in 2023. Why doesn't Jim Ryan explain? In 2022, it sure seemed like Microsoft was definitely held to task for being light on first-party AAA games, so let's have the same for Sony in 2023. Same could also apply for 30 FPS OLED, which seems to be okay for the new Zelda game, currently at 97 Metacritic, but runs at 720p at a targeted 30 FPS and is $70. Why wasn't Nintendo held to task on the graphics, FPS, and price issue? Let's see if the press gives Xbox any breaks if Starfield launches at 30 FPS quality mode only. We covered all that, Star-Lord, and some of that I agree with, some of that not quite so much, but it's all right for anyone to feel the way that they feel. He dropped another super thanks. So, Lord Starkiller, you're an absolute champion. Thank you very much. At this point, Microsoft should assign numerous teams to research and lock down not only as many third-party games as possible, but also as many third-party games marketing rights as possible. Agreed. And all tied into Game Pass if possible. This should help Xbox gain some market share and better perception short and long term. I was thinking of pre-ordering ROG Ally, but I do have a handheld Xbox PS5 gaming on my Razer Kishi attached to my Galaxy S20 Ultra. I have a Series X PS5 and a gaming PC. Do not need to add any more hardware just yet. And if you've got all that, you wouldn't. Guys in the chat, if you want to find anyone from that Victor Click with the $20 super chat says, fuck cancer. I agree, mate. 110%. Thank you very much, Victor Click. Guys, if you want to find me, you can head down in the description. My links are all there. If you want to find anyone in the panel or any one of the guests, we're all down there. Check it out. I'll try and get some timestamps up at the end of the show if I can. And I'll be playing Jedi. I'll be finishing that tonight, hopefully. So that story is absolutely amazing. I'll highly recommend it. It's been a great show. Guys in the chat, you've been champions. I am out of here. Well, guys, we'll see you next week.
Peace and love.
Later, guys.
Yeah.
I was thinking of joining like an auction house or something. What do you reckon?
What about?
Yeah.